In Blue Lock, there's one rank that towers above every player, the world class level. These are the real pros with god tier skills who compete for the title of the best in the world. Every time these dudes step on the field, you know someone in Blue Lock is about to get violated. So they're hyped up as the final bosses for a reason. And today, we're breaking down all 10 pro players. Now, the first pro we were introduced to isn't who you think. It was, in fact, a retired professional, Jinpachi Ego.
Hold up, wait a minute.
Yeah, that's right. Noel Noa considered this guy his rival, meaning that Jinpachi was close to his equal at one point in time. Bro was him before Blue Lock, but how did he play? Well, just like Isagi Yuichi, Noah compared our MC to Ego when he was breaking down the ideal play and the idea of metavision. So Jinpachi believes in Isagi the most because they play in a very similar way. Ego has shown extreme, and I mean extreme excitement, busting a nut and everything whenever Isagi displays his true ego. Like, remember when he cooked Nico? Ego started tweaking out in the control room. Then again in the U20 match when Isagi told Ego to basically go fuck himself and make sure they win no matter what. That man was smiling like a proud father at a school fight. So Jinpachi Ego likely had a similar journey, choosing to be a striker but eventually coming to the same conclusion that Isagi did, that he was a talented learner, not a genius, and that realization crushed Ego, just like when Isagi once believed he was nothing more than a tool to make geniuses shine in the game of football. Ego came to the same conclusion, but this time it was Noel Noa. Isagi eventually learned how to evolve his ego and rise to become an equal to these geniuses, as Ego's Blue Lock project is actually just his redemption arc. He treats Ego like a weapon, and Isagi is the only one who has truly mastered this concept. Each player's ego is tied to their deepest desire, the hunger to devour rivals and create the perfect goal. That's how players enter the flow state, a trance where instinct, imagination, and execution become one. But Isagi figured out something even deeper. The trigger for flow isn't the same for everyone. It's personal, and by dissecting how each ego functions, Rin declared it himself. Isagi is the demon king who can manipulate the pitch for a goal. That's how Isagi became undefeated in the Neo League, as he outplayed genius level talents like Rin by reading their ego like a freaking cheat code. Now, Jinpachi once said, talent is just a lump of ore. If you don't smelt and polish it, it's just trash. Genius means nothing if it doesn't create results. And that's why Ego declares Isagi has the greatest ego in football, the kind that will change the world. Because out of all the players, only Isagi figured out Jinpachi's master plan. By chapter 285, even Noah realizes he was being used. Ego wanted to prove that learning and obsession can be a genius. Now, before we get into the madness, if you love Blue Lock as much as we do, then you need this, a Blue Lock poster from our store. This isn't some low effort print, it's high quality and drips ego straight onto your wall. Whether your team Isagi, Rin, or Kaiser, this poster will remind you to succeed every time you look at it. Stock is limited, so grab yours now at thedeepvault.com before they're gone. It will help support the channel, so I would appreciate it. If you do buy it, let me know on Twitter or social media to get a shout out. So get your Blue Lock poster right now, the link will be in the description. But getting back to the pros, how broken is Noel Noa to make Jinpachi Ego, the most twisted football philosopher, give up on his own dream of becoming the world's best striker? Well, let me put it simply, Noah is the final boss of football. But before he was a god-tier striker, he was a kid from the slums of France. He was hungry, like literally. His story mirrors the legend Zidane. He had nothing, so he made football his everything. Noah is a football junkie addicted to the game. He wasn't chasing fame or being the world's best, which he admits. Noah was actually chasing the perfect expression of what it means to be a striker. So he became ambidextrous, had a perfect physique, mechanical dribbling, zero wasted motion, and instincts sharper than AI. He won the World Cup, the Ballon d'Or, the UEFA Men's Player of the Year, and still, it wasn't enough. He craved rivals that didn't exist, so he made his own. That's why he joined Blue Lock, because Ego was the only man who challenged him as a rival in the past, and Noah needed new challenges to keep evolving. So he manipulated Blue Lock's system, mentoring Kaiser, the most talented learner, and then weaponizing Isagi to push Kaiser's limit. For example, in chapter 199, Noah teaches Isagi to think rationally and to consider the logical numbers in the options he's created just to score a goal. He even informs our MC how to discard the noise in his mind but focus on desire and his ego just to destroy Kaiser. All of this was just gaslighting our MC. It's pure manipulation to fuel Noah's own progression. Like right now, the biggest threat to Noah is Loki, but for the future, he wants even more. However, the moment Isagi dared Noah to outshine him in the World Cup, Noah finally saw it as well. A genuine contender for his title as the world's best striker. So Isagi has now made the list. But let's talk about his weapons and skill level. Noah always tells his team to be logical and he won't accept something irrational. An example of this is Lavinho believing in freedom of play, but Noah calls this style of football pointless, as football comes down to who scores more goals. So for this reason, he's known as a cyborg by everyone. His dribbling is mechanical, making zero errors, and his acceleration, well, it's so fast, even Isagi couldn't keep up before the goal went in. His biggest flex is having no weak foot. He shoots left or right with the same power. Isagi even starts describing Noah's trapping skills and choosing the optimal route for a goal as instantaneous, where his physical strength and techniques are at the highest level. It takes everything in Isagi just to comprehend the plays his master is making. Like, the gap in skill between Isagi and Noah is so wide at this point of time, around chapter 165, that our MC can't even imagine devouring him, as he can't outplay Noah in any aspect. And on top of that, this match displays Noah's incredible weapon. He outmaneuvers Lavinho for a better position, and for other strikers this would result in a weaker play. But it doesn't matter, as he scores with his left foot. That's why Jinpachi Ego literally made Kunigami's wild card trying to replicate Noah's stats, because Noah is the ideal striker, even mentioned in the first few chapters of this manga. However, speaking of ideals, up next is Chris Prince. Everyone compares him to Ronaldo, and just like him, he's also the second best.
That one there was a violation. Personally, I wouldn't have it.
Okay guys, you know I'm a Ronaldo fans. I love Ronaldo, dude. Just please stop writing in the comments, I'm sorry. But anyway, this dude, he isn't just a striker. He's a fitness model, life coach, nutritionist, and a football philosopher, all rolled into one shredded body. Chris Prince's entire philosophy is based on one thing: your body is your weapon. Sharpen it, refine it, and worship it. He sculpted himself into the perfect striker. Through intense training, he became a striker with speed, strength, and IQ so cracked, he literally broke the scales and is rated 100 in everything. And we all know how OP that would be in Pro Evo, or if you play the FIFA games, you'd literally be unfair and people would be raging playing against you because you would just keep scoring goals. Now, unlike Noah, Chris does care about being number one. In fact, it's all he wants in life, to surpass Noah and be known as the best. So when he lost by a landslide for the title of best player, bro was crushed. But on top of that, Chris has a hero complex too. He subbed himself on against Bastard München in chapter 192 purely because if he scored, he'd look like a perfect hero and everyone would glaze him, and I wouldn't mind doing that. Wait, why did that just come out my mouth? I'm sure some of you guys don't mind doing that too. My manners are great. Woo, my man is saucy. A bit sus right there. Cut that out, please. He reads their bodies and instantly knows Chigiri is a speed demon, Nagi is a trap god, Rio is a Swiss Army knife. Chris doesn't believe in raw talent. He believes in nurturing your gift before it dies in obscurity. And his message hits hard. Don't force yourself into someone else's mold. Build on what makes you exceptional. This even echoes Kunigami's warning to Isagi. Don't destroy your specs trying to be someone else. So thanks to Chris, Manshine City goes levels above. Chigiri finds his golden zone, Nagi drops the 5 revolver goal, and Rio awakens his chameleon playstyle. They produce goals that they never would have been able to without Chris's training. This is showcased in chapter 297. Prince easily outwits Lavinho, who's about to intercept Nagi's fumbling. He then out-dribbles the other pro and does a perfect pass to Rio, who he believes to have great ideals for the future. This lets Rio score an outstanding goal if it wasn't for him. Chris admits it's not only that. Because of his body, he can hold off defenders and battle against the likes of Noah with ease. He even created a new weapon called the knuckleball, just like Ronaldo, an unpredictable shot that even Noah wouldn't be able to analyze. Now, if it wasn't for our boy Isagi, Chris would have taken the game by storm, but he did manage to get a bit of his aura back by stopping Yugamiya's new corkscrew. And unlike Isagi, he did it all on his own. So as a player, Chris Prince is an absolute unit. He clowns Kaiser despite him being a quality player worth 400 million and on the same level of Sai Itoshi in the World 11. So that tells us the levels above the pro players must be. Because during the matches, whilst everyone's going all out with Metavision, Flow State and special weapons, Chris is just letting his students thrive, wanting his team to become heroes. However, another player from England is Adam Blake. He's the Premier League's top scorer and England's star striker. When he faced off against Tokimitsu, the strongest physical player in Blue Lock at the time, Adam bodied him like he was made of paper, fam. Even Barou can't move Tokimitsu in a strength contest, but Adam, he shoulders through and gets them a goal with ease. But let's not ignore the fact Adam Blake is cocky as hell. When he met the Blue Lockers, he said, with an opponent that's a developing country, when it comes to football, I thought it'd be like taking candy from a baby, but it looks like we're going to have to actually try a little. Then in chapter 33 of the episode Nagi manga, he literally says that this match will be over in a second. But here's the plot twist. Nagi dupes Adam and Dada Silva with god tier trapping and finesse. Still, even then, when Adam goes up against Zentetsu, who has the fastest acceleration in Blue Lock, Adam outpaces him effortlessly. Chigiri literally says that even he can't beat Zentetsu in a 10-meter dash, but Adam just steals the ball and dips casually. Now after scoring, Adam celebrates like he's better than everyone else, because in his eyes, he is. He calls the other World 5 pros shitheads, and Nagi actually asks them all, how do you always feel that way? What kind of ego do you have? And Adam deadass says, bro, I just want to bang tons of women and that's all I care about. I want to smash all kinds of colors, all kind of races, all kind of shapes. You know what I'm saying? So bro is actually powered by pure lust and baller mindset. And honestly, all of the World 5 pro players are like that. It is revealed that they trust their raw, uncontrollable impulses more than logic. Even when Adam faces Isagi's team, we see the true gulf between pros and Blue Lock. Isagi states their weapons are useless against them because their speed, their foresight, tackling power, kicking, and even height, it's all levels above. Bringing me to Loki, who proved this to Isagi in the Neo League and made him cry like a little bitch. At just 17 years old, Loki is already considered football's greatest prodigy. He plays in the French league and is even on France's national team. In terms of raw power, Loki is above the World 11 members like Sai Itoshi, Lorenzo, and Kaiser. Now, Noel Noa, the #1 striker in the world, openly admitted that Loki could surpass him one day. And when Loki first faced the Blue Lock players, the other World 5 members arrogantly mocked the Blue Lockers. But Loki actually defended them, treating them seriously from the start. But that doesn't mean he went easy on them. Nagi tries to score thinking he's clear, but Loki appears out of nowhere, effortlessly blocking his shot and controlling it at the same time. He claims that he is too slow, and Loki tells Nagi straight up, fear will kill your talent. The World 5 then agree that Nagi is just like Loki, but fear is exactly what destroyed him against FC Barca, ending Nagi's career. So this was just a foreshadowing of the future. Now, let's be real, we all know Loki is fast, but we had no idea how broken he truly was until Bayern Munich vs PSG. When Kaiser fires his ultimate Kaiser impact, his shot already hyped as the strongest in football, Loki casually outruns it from behind, stopping the ball mid-air. Loki basically caught up to a ball moving at 140 kilometers per hour, defying the laws of physics. And if you want to move like that, dude, well, he's on Gamer Subs. He's using that brain boosting fuel. Gamer Subs is a zero sugar energy drink that keeps you locked in, whether you're grinding rank, editing videos, or ego clashing with fate itself. Gamer Subs keeps your mind sharp and your reactions faster than a Kaiser Impact 2. So grab yours using the link below using code ABD for 10% off. Now, back to Isagi. He was speechless. He calls Loki's genius unfair. In chapter 277, even after Isagi drastically powered up since their last World 5 match, Loki easily decodes his trap and calls it naive, stating that the slow ones die first. That's the law of nature. He then unleashes Godspeed distortion, effortlessly slicing between two defenders with a single strike, proving that nobody can match his speed. This includes players like Chigiri and Zantetsu. Logic doesn't work against this dude because remember that Isagi thought he could guard him, but Loki simply said, well, at this range, all I see are weak spots. Then in an instant, Loki destroys them and scores effortlessly. Now, here's the twist. Loki might be humble at times, but his ego is just as huge as everyone else's. When Isagi ruined his plan to make Rin the hero, Loki's calm mask shattered. He declared there won't be a worthy striker from Japan for 10,000 years. But Isagi mocked him for just being blessed with speed, and he should admit that a Japanese person outplayed his vision. This resulted in Loki raging, showing us that his pride could be wounded. But you know who's hard to wound physically? A walking tank named Dada Silva. He grew up in the slums in Brazil and plays for the national team. Silva is all about bragging. He immediately calls players like Rin, Isagi, and even Tokimitsu scrawny, skinny little bitches. Now, okay, maybe I added that last bit, but he does call them skinny and scrawny, right? Now, the only reason he joined the World 5 is to make extra money whilst destroying Japanese players. When Nagi asked what his ego was, he replied stating it's to make a ton of money to be happy. Now, Ego specifically chose people that counteract the blue lockers that made it through. Silva's insane jumping power made him a force to be reckoned with. He dominated Ryu with his heading ability not once, but twice where he scores a goal. I mean, Ryu is 6'5" and his whole weapon is about jumping, yet Dada wasn't even trying and was just having fun toying with them. Now, in the Nagi spin-off manga, which is canon, we see the other game. Dada Silva overpowered Barou without breaking a sweat, calling his tackle wimpy. He grabs Barou by the head and gloats that he thought this was the land of sumo. Barou can't believe his core strength. This is the same dude that Isagi caught training more than the other players for physical strength, yet Dada is making him look like a joke. But on the opposite end of the spectrum is Pablo Cavazos. His strength lies in his incredible technique, especially as the best free kick taker in the entire world. Like, think about Declan Rice banging out 2 of them back to back against Real Madrid. My man Pablo is capable of doing that on the regular. Think about it. If Rin can do a mid-air free kick to score against Bayern Munich, we best believe Pablo can do it too. Now, in the first World 5 match, we get to know that that everything this guy does revolves around the idea of being cute. Like the reason he wants to go to Harajuku is because it's the holy land of cuteness that he wants to see with his own eyes. He's a babyface narcissist according to Adam Blake and is the world's cutest 20-year-old. Now the reason for this obsession is revealed in the spin-off manga. We find out Pablo's true ego is active is through the idea of just wanting to be cute. I mean, yeah, it's kind of weird, but if that's what's making you one of the world's best, then so be it. Because even though Bachira is the best dribbler in Blue Lock, where Isagi said there's no one that can beat him one-on-one, Pablo states in chapter 92 that he doesn't have enough patterns and his plays are lackluster. Of course, Bachira has leveled up with Lavinho training him in the Neo League, but the mere fact that Pablo figured this flaw out in one glance, in one moment, it screams the difference in skill gap. He even devours Bachira to score a goal. But to prove Pablo wasn't kidding about making plays, in chapter 33 of episode of Nagi, we learned that he has the most cracked meta vision ever. Almost like he's Messi. Even when he's boxed in with nowhere to go, one glance is all it took to do a perfect pass. And speaking of perfect, let's talk how Snuffy became football's unstoppable mastermind. Noah told us Snuffy is actually the best all-purpose player in the world. Snuffy's story begins like many others. Two talented prodigies with big dreams, Snuffy and his best friend Mick. They played exactly like Barou to his own admittance. Mick and Snuffy promised each other that if they couldn't become the best in the world, life had no meaning. But reality struck hard. Success brought wealth, fame, women, parties, all that jazz, right? But their lack of discipline led them straight into mediocrity, tumbling down into the lower leagues of football. Now, while Snuffy eventually matured, Mick spiraled into darkness, tragically dying from an overdose after their shared dreams collapsed. Mick's death became Snuffy's ultimate turning point. He vowed to carry both their dreams forward by becoming the greatest footballer alive. And man, this dude delivered, bruh. He conquered football's four biggest leagues, the Premier League, Bundesliga, Ligue 1 and La Liga, and now he's dominating Serie A. Each victory crowned him as the legendary crown messenger, leading every team he touched to greatness and trophies. But here's the insane part. He reached a point where he was contemplating to retire, feeling that he'd accomplished everything possible in football. That was until Barou arrived. Barou reignited Snuffy's passion by reminding him of his younger self and Mick. Seeing Barou's unstoppable ego and raw hunger awakened Snuffy's buried ambition he hadn't yet completed, which was true individual domination. Now, let's talk about Snuffy's football skills, because they're absolutely broken. Snuffy possesses the most overpowered metavision in all of Blue Lock. He can literally foresee every move on the pitch, crafting flawless strategies that leave even Noah utterly clueless. When Snuffy orchestrates Uber's plays, Kaiser and Isagi combined still barely manage to slow him down. And it's not just his vision. Snuffy's dribbling is outright disrespectful. Even cornered by Noah and Isagi, he effortlessly weaves through them, turning impossible situations into deadly scoring opportunities. Like bro, Noah himself admitted that trying to stop Snuffy directly is pointless. Your best hope is literally just waiting for him to be subbed off. That is one of the greatest feats of strength of power in the entirety of the Blue Lock manga. No other pro player has had a statement like this said about them. We saw it clearly when Isagi had to tell Raichi become a protractor, limiting Snuffy's options just so Isagi could desperately intercept one of Snuffy's god tier passes. And even then, Snuffy still nearly scored. Only Gagamaru's insane flow state save prevented Bastard München from complete humiliation. And guess what? That's only half the story. Snuffy's playstyle uses jujutsu. No, not that kind. Well, kind of, because of his backstory, right? That went dark real quick. But basically, Snuffy has jujutsu, where he combines football mastery with deep biomechanics, core strength, and close combat techniques, making him unstoppable. And on top of that, he values teamwork, discipline, and personal development above flashy glory. For Snuffy, football is a means to stability, and financial security, where people should aspire for a life after retirement. He even rescued Don Lorenzo from the streets, literally replacing his teeth with gold imprints and transforming him into a member of the World 11. Like, think about how much of a great coach you have to be. He got a bum on the street, said, bro, do you want to play ball? He said, yeah, I want to play ball. Gave him the implant, trained him up, and made him worth millions of dollars. Don Lorenzo is above Isagi tier, even now. But next up is Leonardo Luna, who loves to humiliate everyone. Playing for La Real, which is Real Madrid, it is the greatest football club on the planet. Luna is the undisputed ace and relentless leader. The moment Blue Lock faced off against him, Luna wasted no time in roasting them to absolute oblivion. He sarcastically mocked the entire project, laughing at the idea Japan would waste money on producing talent that would never match European standards. Luna states there's a higher chance of a Spaniard becoming the best sumo wrestler than Japan producing a world-class striker, perfectly illustrating the gap he sees between Japanese and European players. But Luna didn't even stop there. He immediately zeroed in on Sai Itoshi, openly mocking him for only managing to reach Real Madrid's subordinate team. Sai faced the harsh reality of European football firsthand. This crushing gap shaped Sai's intense hatred for Rin and Japan. He feels Japan suppresses genuine talent by promoting humility over ruthless ambition. Now in the end, Luna roasts them, stating Blue Lock is gambling their lives on a wish that will never come true. I can do a complete breakdown of Sai Itoshi's life at Real Madrid if you would like that. So smash the like button and let me know in the comment section where I can explain Luna's torture of Sai Itoshi's character in that video. But either way, Luna's football skills, they do kind of prove his point. During their match, Luna easily reads Rin's lack of experience, sensing fear, especially regarding Loki's unstoppable speed. Seizing this opportunity, Luna effortlessly stole the ball, creating a goal-scoring opportunity. And that was just a warm-up. Next, Luna wants to discourage Rin just like he did Sai Itoshi by devouring his ego. Activating his power, we can see the sheer amount of aura coming out, which proves how overwhelming Luna is. He mercilessly nutmegged Rin, taunting him brutally, saying, if your legs are that wide open, people would think you're loose. Like, the dude basically called Rin a hoe in front of everyone. Then, in the spin-off manga, Nagi summed up Luna's skill perfectly, calling him a perfect version of Rio, better in every imaginable way. Rio is a chameleon who can copy anyone's weapon at 99% power and cannot match up to the original when compared. However, Luna, he can use 100% and with much more ease. Now against Nagi's team, Luna made this clear. He toyed with Nag, effortlessly predicting and humiliating him in every dribble, making it obvious just how massive the skill gap was. But here's the twist. Despite this ruthless persona, Luna isn't entirely heartless. When Chigiri's injury flared up mid-match, Luna actually showed genuine care, diagnosing the issue with surprising compassion. But the real revelation about Luna's character came when Nagi asked him about what his true ego state was. Luna said, "It's twisting my heart." Like Isagi, Luna's genuinely a decent guy off the pitch, but once the whistle blows, he transforms into a ruthless demon. He even shares wisdom similar to Rin. Would you ask a bird why it flies? Your ego is the flapping in your heart. It echoes Rin's iconic answer to Nagi's existential question. What kind of baby thinks about dying when they're born? Their instinct is simply to survive. So for Luna, football isn't merely a sport, it's a survival instinct. Unlike our next pro who sees football as the ultimate form of self-expression and creativity, Lavinho informs us that it doesn't matter if the world doesn't believe he's the best. Instead, he visualizes a world of his own in his head that doesn't belong to anyone but himself. He creates an image of what the world's best looks like, and that's it. His journey kicks off in the streets of Brazil, where he cooked defenders using his Ginga style, a smooth dance-like way of playing dribbling based on capoeira, which Brazilians do. He feels like a butterfly floating across the pitch whilst defenders trip over their own ankles. Like literally, he did this in a match. He's so good, like Neymar and Ronaldo, people are breaking ankles. Now, nobody in the world, not even Noel Noa, can match Lavinho's individual dribbling talent. Lavinho's football is not about tactics or boring formations. To him, football is about flexing your personality and farming aura, showing off your unique moves and making the crowd go wild. Like Lavinho's dribbling even makes Isagi look like an NPC. Against Boston Munich, he casually pulled off one of the coldest goals in the whole series. The dude dribbled through the entire team in a mazy run like Ben Arfa, using Isagi to bypass Noel Noa and tapped it in whilst bowing like Neymar. Like, dude, the disrespect level was unholy. Even in a 2v1, he doesn't fall. He rainbow flicked a guy, then used that same dude as a meat shield to block the next defender. Now, Lavinho, as the master of Barca, represents the exact opposite of guys like Noah or Snuffy. Whilst they preach structure and stats and logic, Lavinho says, nah fam, just go out there and vibe, create your own version of your best. This results in him putting Barca on the map, helping him unlock his monster. Thanks to Lavinho's influence, Barca popped off and became one of Blue Lock's top players, cooking defenders with a almost perfect dribble goal against Manchester City. All of his goals were pretty much one of the best in the entire league. Now, if you want to enjoy a more peak fiction regarding Blue Lock, watch this video on your screen right now.